every single shard is going to be 2x at the same time. Hey, what's up everybody? This is Chosen. It is Wednesday, March 3rd, 2021. Time to get you caught up on everything going on in Raid heading into this weekend, what type of events are coming, and what you can expect going on in the game as we head into the next few days. So first of all, we have confirmation that this weekend there is going to be a 2x event for every single shard at the same time. Ancients, Voids, Sacreds will all be double the chance to get epic and legendary champions this weekend starting on Friday. And obviously someone's first reaction to this would be, wow, holy crap, I gotta pull all my shards this weekend, this is epic. Which I think is valid for newer players, but for veteran players or endgame players, just to keep it 100 with you, it kind of has a feel to it like it's meant to deplete people's resources before new factions come out, or some of these big anniversary event type things are going to be launching here in the spring of 2021. So my general sentiment is it should be a pretty fun weekend to summon champions, obviously, if every shard is going to be 2x. But just be a little bit careful and keep that in mind. If the resources are valuable to you and you've been playing for a long time, and it may be optimal to not completely deplete yourself to keep yourself ready for some of these things that are going to be launching here in the spring. But if you're a new player, like if you've been playing a couple weeks and you still need all sorts of champions, obviously this is a pretty hype weekend to go ahead and pull your shards, and it may be your best opportunity of 2021 in terms of one weekend where you can pull all shards to acquire some epics and have a better chance of acquiring legendaries from your ancients, your voids, and your sacreds. But if you're a veteran player, be careful. If you've already got a pretty fleshed out champion pool, you're already doing level 20 of all the dungeons, and you've got a pretty end game account, you may want to not get jebaited into wasting all of your resources before some of this stuff in the spring is going to be launching. So that is going to be starting in a couple days on Friday. Then in terms of what is going on in game, we'll pull up the tournaments and event stuff here. So right now we've got a dragon tournament going on for the next day and a half. And if you didn't watch my last video, you'll see they are adding fragments to some of these events and tournaments for old fragment fusions, which I think on the surface is pretty cool. I wish after their event these champions would go into like a legacy fusion pool where you just get universal fragments for them, and then you could kind of pick which one you're short on. But this is kind of a middle ground of that, where it's not something as good as universal fragments, but it's an opportunity. If you missed out barely by like 5 or 10 fragments on some of these fusion events, there's an opportunity down the road to earn some of those fragments in these tournaments and events. So I think this is mostly a good thing for the game. You're going to want to pay attention to that if you need these for drop goal. There is 5 to scoop up here in the dragon tournament, so keep an eye on that because you've got about a day and a half left on that. And then in terms of events going on right now in the game, artifact enhancement going on for the next couple days, and this looks like a pretty normal artifact enhancement event. You will want to at least try to get to 3,300 points and scoop up these core hammers when you've got an opportunity to do so. Other than that, it's pretty par for the course and nothing too crazy to take note of. Dungeon Divers, an opportunity to double dip on that dragon tournament going on right now. We've even got some Elegaeus fragments up for grabs. So if you missed out on that, might be good to at least get to 3,500 on the Dungeon Divers event going on right now. And then champion training event going on. It seems like there's been a lot of these going on the last few months or so, which, like I said in my last video, not a bad thing because it's always good to develop your champions. So it's good to double dip on these when they're going on pretty regularly. But you want to be careful on the ones that you save up and go all in for. This is not one to go all in for. There's no core hammers, there's no void shard, no sacred shard, no epic or legendary book. So nothing wrong with not going crazy on this champion training event. And then before I dive into grading the offers and kind of wrapping things up here for this midweek announcement video, I want to keep you in the loop. I hosted a free-to-play competition. Some of you may know we had about 300 to 350 players sign up for that, somewhere in there. I don't remember the exact number. 300 something players, and we had a first place prize of $1,000 plus 1,000 gems, and then we have prizes for 2nd through 5th as well. But somebody has actually won that. We have we had somebody yesterday say, hey, my teams are ready to run Dungeon 20 if you want to test them. And then I reached out to Plarium and had them confirm that the account did not cheat, did not spend any money. So Plarium looked into the account on the back end. They let me know that the account did not spend any money, so it was a legitimate attempt and a legitimate account. I ran their Dungeon 20 teams. If you're not familiar with the free-to-play competition, just really quick, it was start a new account, you can't spend any money, and you need to finish level 20 of every single dungeon on full auto. Was basically the gist of it. There was a few other rules, but that was kind of the basic rundown. And somebody finished it on day 47, and that person goes by Warmother's Side Guy. And it was pretty fun on Twitch. We logged in, we ran all of the teams. They worked first try on auto on day 47. So definitely a huge congrats. They obviously had some pretty good RNG and summoned some really good champions on the first 40 days for a free-to-play account, getting people like Mashaled and Ugo. Reliquary Tender was big for the revives on some of their runs. So they did get lucky, but they also played really well and managed the account at an amazingly high level. So to win something like that, when you've got hundreds of players in something, it's going to take a nice blend of some luck and also some skill. So huge shout out to Warmother Side Guy. They took down the competition on day 47, which is an absolutely insane accomplishment. I thought that the competition was going to take about 2 to 3 months, so about 60 to 90 days. Most viewers and people in the community thought it was going to take like 6 to 10 months because obviously we all know how hard the game is free to play. I thought with that many people, somebody was going to get a good blend of RNG and skill and get it done in 2 or 3 months. But even my expectations were completely shattered, and it was done on day 47, which is absolutely incredible, and a massive shout out to them. Now, the competition's not over. We've still got prizes to divvy up for 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. So I will keep you noted on exactly how that is going. And then also, once this one wraps up, I am in talks with the leaders in my community of getting the next competition started. After that, we'll have a prize pool and do another competition similar to the one that we did with the free-to-play competition. And then I do want to show you just a couple quick data points from the free-to-play competition. Huge shout out to Shandrig for putting this together and getting me this data. But the first thing I want to show you is the distribution of starting champions chose in the free-to-play competition. Now, there was hundreds of participants, and not every single one of them responded to our free-to-play collection data survey. But of the ones that responded, you can see the distribution of starting champions. 80% Kale, like 18% Aethel, and then Galek and Elaine are going to be sprinkled in after that. Of the people surveyed, actually nobody picked Elaine, which is super surprising because Elaine has the 2 AoEs, which can be pretty solid in the arena and some of the progression. But I think people were more worried about having the poisons of Kale and having the triple hitter of Aethel to help them progress in the Fire Knight. And then the other one I want to show you is this one here. How many days it took on average to get their first starting champion. And we can see here it ramps up about day 6 or 7 is going to be most common. 5 to 7 in that range. And then it kind of tapers off a little bit before and after that in terms of getting your first 6-star champion on a free-to-play account. So that was just a little bit of data I wanted to show that we were able to collect from hosting the competition. And of course, I would get a dedicated video out showing their teams, showing their account, showing their runs. And I'm going to try to line up an interview with them where I can ask them questions about their perspective of winning the competition and what went into managing the account and all that type of stuff, so I can keep you in the loop on that. But now let's go ahead and dive into the shop and go over some of the offers here. Let's get swapped over to the offer sheet being pulled up, and we'll clear out some of the stuff we were plugging in from yesterday. Okay, so first of all, we need to talk about these anniversary gifts, which this is a great thing. Plarium doesn't have to give free stuff out to the players, so it's a cool thing that they're doing in giving out the anniversary gifts. My only thing that's kind of weird is why was the first one so much better than some of the ones that are coming afterwards? It would have been better to kind of ramp up and get bigger and bigger as we go here. So they started out really good with that first one, and then they've kind of slowed down a little bit and haven't sent as much out. But let me get this plugged in for you guys, just in case you're curious how much this one's worth. The first one was worth about $10 that I plugged in on the last kind of update video. We'll see what this one's worth here. It's not going to be worth $10. Then the 1 and a 1. Yeah, so this one's worth about $3. If it were a pack, this would be worth about $3 in terms of where I would recommend that it's fair value based on what we usually see in games. So hopefully they go back to ramping this up and giving out some bigger stuff, but some rewards is better than nothing, so it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just let's hope these trend in the other direction instead of getting weaker and weaker as we go along here. Then let's see if there's anything else going on here. Okay, so obviously this is one they send out during the artifact enhancement event. So let's get this plugged in. We've got 17.5. And let's add a 0 there. Okay, and then 1250 on the gems. Okay, 1,500 energy. And boom, 1.84. Yep, so that's going to be a pass for me, especially with all of the shards being buffed this weekend. They may put out some pretty spicy shard offers, so I'd be a little bit careful on your spending for the next couple days. Not a bad time to scoop up the monthly pack because it grades out as a 2.45. I've plugged it in many times in videos like this. It's a 2.45 on the offer sheet, and all of these shards are going to be buffed this weekend. So if you're a mid to high spender, not a bad time to think about scooping that up for this weekend if you're going to be pulling shards during that. Mega mix pack, we can plug this in. There's also 50, 40, 160 brews, boom, and then 5 days of XP, 350 gems. Okay, and then we've got 8 and 10 on the chicken, and boom, 2.01. There's Plarium using my offer sheet again, trying to sneak in on things that I'll recommend. This one I would stay away from, especially like I said. We're going to be looking to purchase shards with some of the stuff coming through in game. So an offer without shards is going to have to be really good for me to want to recommend it. Mini mix we don't have to do, and we're not going to be buying Divine Life 5-star gear for $30. So that's going to wrap up the offers for today. And that does it for this one. Just in conclusion, I want to make sure to remind you, this Friday in a couple days, they are going to be doing a 2x event for every single shard, which sounds exciting on the surface. I just want to make sure and caution you that maybe you don't want to completely deplete your resources as we head into the spring where we get new factions and anniversary type events coming down the road. So fine to pull shards, but be a little bit careful about your approach into this weekend based off of what could be coming in the spring. And then also just based on how my day is shaping out, this is typically where I say, hey, if you want to come hang out, I'm going to go live right now after the video. But the way my workday is shaking out, I have some stuff going on here, and I'm going to be streaming in a few hours instead. I'm going to be doing an afternoon, early evening stream instead of a morning stream, which happens about every week or two where I just got to stream at a different time based on how things are kind of shaking out. So I will be live in a few hours. There's a link down below in a pinned comment if you want to check out the stream and come hang out a little bit later. We can talk about all this stuff and the free-to-play competition, maybe some future competitions that we'll be hosting, and just kind of hang out and play some raids. So that's going to do it for this one. As always, thank you for watching. Have a great rest of your day. Peace.